Hi everybody, welcome to Modern Moves Dance. I'm Coco Loop. Today we don't have Michael playing drums for us because we are going to talk about balancing, and it's more of kind of a conversation and an experimental creative play based around some alignment principles and a couple of different options you can try out while you're learning about finding a still point in your dancing where you can become not motionless but balanced. So, anyway, we'll get started. What we can do is just start with nice soft knees, and we can just shift our weight over and pick up one leg. So let's just try that. And we're going to keep the feet flat, so the heel on the ground. And you can start to just bend and stretch on the standing leg. And then the active leg can be in any position, and you're just finding a length in the standing leg. So now we're going to start to wonder, what is giving me the ability to stand and stabilize on this standing leg? And if you aren't quite to a place where you can do this, you might want to hold on to something while you try, and then just release that chair or tabletop or whatever you've got. So you can lift the leg to the back on one leg, etc., etc. You might want to pause the video and just try this a bunch of different times. Okay, so what is allowing us to stand on one leg? Stable, still. Basically, what it comes down to is knowing where your pelvis is over the structure of the foot. So if you're too far back on your heels, the pelvis is back, right? And you can't stabilize on top, right? So when you're practicing this, just start to feel the pelvis kind of move forward over the, like, be in line with the femur bone, which is the big thigh bone, right? And then all of that weight is kind of positioned over the center of my foot. So if I push too far forward onto the toes, I come off of my balance. If I am here and I kind of push back onto my heel, the pelvis gets behind my heel and I can't sustain that balance. So I'm staying up, and you can kind of play around with this by moving your pelvis around and seeing where that moves the weight on to what part of the foot, right? So the big toe joint, the pinky toe joint, the heel, too much pressure in the toes. So try that. Really gives you a sense of how you can really make small adjustments over the center of the foot and use the ball of the foot and the heel as pressure points that you can move between. Okay. So when you saw me kind of moving my pelvis forward and back and around, my upper body was kind of reacting, trying to counterbalance. So that brings the upper body into the conversation. So the head, the shoulders, the rib cage, right, and the spine that goes up the center are all gonna play a part in your balance, right? So we try to think of keeping the occiput, this big dome bone right here, and the chin in a more kind of lifted, floating space. The chest relaxed, right? So not out in an inhale, but back and relaxed in an exhaled position. The shoulders should feel like a shirt hanging off of a coat hanger, just nice and easy and relaxed, right? The rib cage almost folded in slightly, right? So that we can allow the spine to really be central to our balance and our alignment. And then from there, once you bring the head, the shoulders, the ribs, the sternum into place, then the pelvis can start to negotiate what's happening on top of the leg, right? So try that. Try to bring the head, the shoulders, the ribs, the pelvis into place, and it helps to bring the belly button gently back to the spine. So the ab wall is really working in conjunction with the spinal column to give you some stability there. Okay, so we can bring our head, shoulders, ribs, belly button, pelvis right up on top of the standing leg, right, and over the center of the foot. So you can try a few releves, which means to rise. You can try 2 feet first. So we go 1 and 2 and 3. We'll do one more and just hold that one. I've got my arms out to the side to help me balance. All right, now we're really testing the whole body moving forward and up over the balls of the feet. So we've got our flat balance worked out. We've worked on the alignment there. No matter what the leg is doing, we're kind of keeping those alignment principles in play through the upper body. And then on 2 feet, we can start to take all of that information and just let it float up as the heels rise. Just do a few of these. And every once in a while, see if you can just float up on the top of the balls of the feet. And then you can try that with the feet in different positions on the floor. Your calves might get a little sore. That's okay. Yeah. So step and then rise. There's a nice balance. Step and rise. Releve. There's a nice balance. Step together, rise. However you want to do it. You can do any little combination of step down and then rise. So not a very ballistic lesson today, but something that will come into play as you refine your ability to stay in this still point with all of your motion capabilities at your disposal, while the legs keep you, and the legs and the pelvis and the core keep you stabilized. Okay. The last little part of this that you can try is using all of that information so that you can then do the releve on 1 foot. This you may need something to hang on to, but one great way to try it is just get into your flat-footed balance and then just start to push up to the ball of the foot. You might get wobbly, that's fine. You can just start to step and float up. Step and float up. You're going to need a calf stretch after this one. Float up. Step and float up. Switching sides. Step and float up. There we go. Then you can do that and then try to extend the balance at the top for a little bit longer. You might want to use the arms to help you, right? And then other side. See if you can play around. And then other side. And then try again. Maybe the leg to the front this time. Oh, there's a little moment, okay? And the leg to the front. Yeah, so that is just a matter of trying that over and over and over again. And then once you get that on a vertical alignment where your upper body is stacked on top of your lower body, then you can start to try to get your flat-footed balances with the body off the center line. And notice I'm just picking my foot up a little bit and testing my balance. There we go. And then maybe to the back, I can take my body off and balance there. Or if the leg is to the front, I can maybe lift my chest or curve over while I balance. So this is just a matter of experimentation. I'm not giving you a set exercise to memorize and do, because I think experimenting and playing is sometimes a better way to just start understanding the way that your body can negotiate balance. And then from there, once you start to bring your body off axis on one leg, flat-footed, you can start to play around, maybe 2 feet in the releve and a tilt, 2 feet, maybe a wide stance and a curve, one leg and a one-legged releve. Let's try that one again. Leg in the back, rise, body off axis. Okay. So that's an introduction to just starting to understand the way the larger sections of the body can come into alignment to assist you in learning how to balance, and also just some of the few ways that you can think about balance. 2 feet flat, 1 foot flat, 2 feet on the releve, up on the balls of the foot, 1 foot on the releve. And then where the legs are and the body are is a creative practice. That's we could follow the ballet syllabus and show you all of the positions of the legs that you can do, but there are so many other ways that your legs can also be arranged with your arms and your upper body. So I really leave that up to your creativity and how you want to explore that in shaping the body while balancing. So thanks so much for joining us for this lesson in balancing. I hope you have fun playing around with being on your axis, off your axis, rising, lowering, and finding those really kind of quiet but powerful still points in your dancing. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with your circle of friends. And thanks so much for being with us today. See you next time.